history. Wall Street Journal reporting as college graduates in the 2014 class prepare to shift to their tassels and accept their diplomas, they leave school with one discouraging distinction. They're the most indebted class ever. That's just crazy when you think about it, man. I mean, wow. Trillions and trillions. The average class of 2014 graduate with student loan debt has to pay back some $33,000. Even after adjusting for inflation, that's nearly double the amount borrowers paid back 20 years ago. Meanwhile, a greater share of the students taking on debt to finance higher education, a little over 70% of this year's bachelor's degree recipients are leaving school with student loans, up from about half in 1994. The problem developing is that earnings and debt aren't moving in the same direction. From 2005 to 2012, the average student loan debt jumped 35% adjusted for inflation, while the median salary dropped 2.2%. Okay, so what do? Well, we learn about college. Isn't that interesting? We need to learn about college. Now, I just had my third one graduate the other day. He's class of 2014. Obviously, he graduated debt-free. That would be ridiculous. It would be like me taking out a credit card. But, so, third of ours to do that. Let me help you with this. One of the things we wrote an entire chapter on college debt and how to avoid it. It's too late for 2014. You guys got to figure it out. Let me stop there, though, for just a second. I did a commencement address. I actually did my son's commencement address. I was honored to get to be at my own school of University of Tennessee. That was a great honor. But then add to that, my son was actually walking that day. And so, pretty cool milestone. In that commencement address, I told those young people two things that you need to hear if you're coming out in 2014 or you came out in 2015 and you're a victim of these statistics. By the way, you're not a victim. You made choices. Thing number one you need to know is this. You are entitled to nothing. Nothing. This culture owes you nothing. As a matter of fact, if you went to a state school, your tuition was subsidized by the taxpayers in that state. You owe them. You owe society a debt for your education. You're entitled to nothing. Let me tell you what you do have. You do have the best possible time to have graduated and entered the business world in the history of mankind. Oh, I know the statistics say that the college rates are going up at 35% and the average salary is only up 2.2%. So maybe you decide not to be average. Because let me just tell you, if you want to launch a business, you want to be in business, you want to market something, you want to find a way to serve your culture and help people. And by the way, they will pay you when you help them with a problem. They will pay you when they help them with something that's not even a problem. If you just help people, they pay you. They always give you these certificates of appreciation when you help them. It's got presidents' faces on them. They're green and kind of rectangular. When you help people, that's what happens. You make money. So find a way to serve in the culture. But I mean, technology is at its zenith right now. It's in crazy mode. The things you can access, the speed with which you can access information, the speed and ease and the cost with which you can access customers by the bazillions. I mean, I have 540,000 people follow me on Twitter. That means if I have a thought and can capture it in 140 characters, I can tell 540,000 people that instantaneously, and it's free. 7 years ago, that didn't even exist. 2.2 million people follow me on Facebook. You know what that cost me? Nothing. You know what Craigslist costs you? Nothing. You know what YouTube costs you? Nothing. You know what Instagram and Pinterest cost you? Nothing. You know what the web access costs you? Nothing except your connectivity fee. You have the world in your stinking hands. I mean, when I came out of school, Al Gore hadn't even invented the internet, people. It wasn't time yet. You have the best time to bring a product to market, to serve your fellow man at a cheaper cost, at a faster rate than any time in the history of humankind. That's what you just graduated into. Freaking opportunity coming out your ears. but you are entitled to nothing. You have the right to pursue happiness. Now, how do we go to school if we're not 2014? Let's say we're 2020. Maybe we're seniors or juniors. How do you go to school and not be one of these student loan ridden people that come out with this stuff hanging around their neck? And I'm not talking about cords from graduating well. I'm talking about weights. Well, the first and foremost reason that people go into student loan debt is they select a college they cannot afford. Go to a school you can afford. Shut up. I don't really want to hear it. Go to a school you can afford. Period. If you start 2 years in a community college, if you go to in-state, if you live in your mama's basement while you go in-state, you keep the cost down to if you have $1 bazillion and your daddy's a billionaire and you want to go to a school you can afford, that's any school, go. I got a friend of mine's got his kid in private school, costs about $100,000 a year. And he can afford it, and that's fine. I don't have any issue with that at all. I really don't. Wherever you want to go, but you pay for it. And you parents, your job is to parent. And that includes 18-year-olds who are picking out $200,000 worth of tuition they can't afford at some stinking school because their boyfriend's going there. This is stupid. And it's because you parents aren't parenting. Love your children well enough to participate in the decision and demand, in order to get your involvement in the decision, that they make good decisions that they can afford. College selection is number one. Number two is get a job while you're in school. Won't hurt you. It's not child abuse. Number three is apply for 4,000 scholarships. You will get turned down for most of them, and the rest of them will give you money for free. See, there's ways to do this, folks, without a student loan. Oh, and while you're in school, live in a dorm. You don't need to live in an apartment with a jacuzzi and a skylight and a racquetball court. Give me a break. You're a college student. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.